Hey guys, this is Rurouni K95 here. Today's anime review, we get to cover an anime OVA from the 90s, which I haven't reviewed before until now. For today's anime review is Agent Aika. Agent Aika only runs about 7 episodes, only about from April 25th, 1997 to April 25th, 1999. Yeah, this basically has all 7 episodes, includes special trial, a special on here as well. There is also the manga called Agent Aika Trial Zero, which I've never read the manga in my life. Yeah, there's basically 30 minutes for 7 episodes of Agent Aika. And yes, this anime was created by the studio company called Studio Fantasia, which is known for their work on anime such as Castle in the Sky, My Neighbor Totoro, and Kiki's Delivery Service, which are three of course which are directed by Miyazaki and Akira, as well as their work on anime TV series such as Inuyasha, Rumbling Hearts, as well as Project Eiko 3 and the fourth Project Eiko OVA, as well as many other anime works in general. That'll basically stand the test of time, basically, of how it's given in the title of how Agent Aika as well. There is also the sequel. There's also the OVA sequels, which are such as Aika R16 Virgin Mission, as well as Aika uh, um, Zero, which is probably the prequel to the Agent Aika series as well. But that's probably for another time. But I'm here to discuss probably about the original OVA series from 1997. So the plot probably about Agent Aika is probably it's about Aika Sumeragi, who is a freelancer and lifts artifacts and data from the submerged ruins of Tokyo in the year 2036, which is almost post-apocalyptic. Not exactly as how it was intended to be. She is a friend and business partner to the father-daughter team of Gozo and Rion Ida, and has a love-hate relationship with Gus Turbulence, her spiky-haired male rival, hired to go after the Ragu, an energy source reputed to be the cause of the global catastrophe. Aika must compete against evil super bitch Nina Hagen, Nina's just brother Rudolph, and their army of women, inexplicably capably dressed as French maids. Her only advantages are the high-tech vehicles and transforming underwear that is really a weapon. Seriously? How is it the fan service goes? Because I explain to learn the fact of I'm giving the point probably about how Agent Aika has some gratuitous amounts of violence action as well as some fan service and panty shots as well. I mean, what is up with the fan service in this OVA? That is the serious thing about this. I mean, that's how you expect to explain something that is going on in Agent Aika. Yeah, this is probably a girls with guns type action anime. It's because it's fighting against those villains who are dressed like French maids, probably in this particular anime. What Project A feeling particularly as how the action, but that's how the story is probably almost high grade as well. I mean, the characters are well done if they're well designed as well. If they needed character profiles, probably. I mean, the action was good, but I do not care for the panty shots because I think it's too awkward in my opinion, probably. Because that's just me as well. But anyway, because the thing probably of how explain of how the action goes in Agent Aika is probably of how to expect of how what it is for this particular anime OVA, like for this particularly as well, because the real serious thing is that of how there's some gratuitous amounts of fan service in Agent Aika as well. And yes, this was directed by the as a this is basically like a repay of Project Aiko, particularly because there is not only the fan service, but there's some gratuitous nudity, which is how why would they do that stuff? That's why. And yeah, that's probably just how the action goes, probably, especially how the battle, how you expect for a series like Agent Aika as well. But there is also the live action unreleased Aika episode, but we'll come to that. Just some um, questionable thing about that in just a moment as well. Despite how this, yeah, in Japan it's called Aika, but in the English translated it's called Agent Aika because I know the difference particularly. And yeah, because there is some gratuitous amounts of action on here besides the fan service probably of how do they do like some inspired action, camel toe and nudity as well as tentacle inspired action. Why do they do that sort of stuff? That's why. I mean, that's how you expect to see what if you ever watched Agent Aika as well. I mean, the villains are like a trainer with as well of how it goes probably in Agent Aika, and that's and I didn't know that this anime had like two story arcs. I mean, how questionable can it be for Agent Aika having two story arcs? But that's just how it is as well, probably, because that looks like something probably of how this anime was from like a repay to Project Aiko, which I didn't know about that until now. But that's besides giving in the point to explain the peculiar way, probably as well. And that's the only thing. The art style animation is probably your average 90s anime as well. Or should I say late 90s anime because it was started in 1997. And that's the thing for Project feel of your way for this particular anime. I mean, there is probably how the following. There are some. Each episodes have some certain following events after what going how the from the episode progresses in Project Aiko style way when it comes to it, discussing about Agent Aika is how the thing of how they do that in these days probably the biggest thing is that for Agent Aika there's a lot of gratuitous research probably of how there's some nudity and pantsuit, some panty shots, as well as some action-inspired violence, probably in this anime. When it comes to something what you see, probably if you watched Agent Aika, the biggest thing, it's probably like the to the rise of the phoenix as it goes, probably in a turn of events sort of thing probably of what Agent Aika has. Probably the most shocking is what because there's this is your average late 90s anime OVA with because have girls with guns and some action as well. There's not only that, there is some gratuitous fan service because I didn't know about the fan service has what you has been depicted in Agent Aika than any other anime out there because that's probably of how it's like you're finding a needle in a haystack is probably of how what Project Aiko how it progresses as well. And yeah, that's just how it is as well. And the few times as well how the music as well how it progresses of how the music represents probably if you listen to the music of Agent Aika as how it goes. I mean, the music is okay in my opinion. It's almost how late 90s anime feel vibe as where I mean, it's almost as different than anime. More it's probably how they use fan service than Iki Tausen or Tenjo Tenge. More penny. This has some gratuitous panty shots than Air Master combined as well. That's probably just how to explain of how this is progresses for this particular anime like Project Aiko, who feel vibe to this anime when it, especially for Agent Aika, had a lot to do with probably, and that's just how it is because this is your typical. I know this was supposed to be like an action anime, but that turns out as how you expect it for Agent Aika, probably. I mean, that's probably the most thing is that for the most part, probably is what how this has one hell of an action anime. If they were more prevalent than the actual plot of how it takes place in a post-apocalyptic world, because Aika and her sidekicks are treasure hunters that takes place depicted in a post-apocalyptic world, almost like Fist of the North Star in a particular way. In order to save the business as well. I mean, what is up with skimpy outfits and Agent Aika? That's the thing. How I thought the animation was decent, but that's probably how animators felt when they were doing that, of how they were intended to be as well. Plus, that's the serious thing, probably. Some can like this anime, some may don't like it in their opinion as well, but that's how we are entitled to our opinions, probably. And yes, this was originally released by Central Park Media back in the day, but that was up until Bandai Entertainment has picked up the license for Agent Aika when it was remastered as well. But overall, I thought this when I first watched this anime OVA, I thought it was decent because or how expected how it goes, because this was your typical action anime with gratuitous amounts of fan service probably. It's like, how do they do that? That's the thing, probably, of how that's pretty much how is that what how they used fan service probably in this anime? That is the serious question, probably. And yeah, there is also the Ica Virgin Mission OVA, which is probably like a prequel to the original Agent Ica series, probably, which I'll cover that in the future as well, if I could have time, if I could think of it. But overall, I gave this anime 4 out of 5 because I thought this was okay in my opinion. I mean, it's been a while since I watched this. Pretty soon, if I can rewatch it, so I can what I think about this at some point as well. But that's just how it is, probably for a particular anime OVA like Agent Aika. It's one of the most ambiguous late 90s. This anime series came out in 1997, which is probably around the same time as Berserk series was probably airing at the time as well. If you want to look for an anime OVA that you haven't missed out from the 90s, chances there you're gonna have to watch. If you ask a random anime fan to what's the late 90s anime come to mind, chances you have to say they'll say Agent Aika. Otherwise you'll end up with notable titles such as particularly Iki Tausen or Tenjo Tenge. But overall, that's just how it is as well. So that's going to be it for my anime review on Agent Aika for today's anime review. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts on this. It's been a while since I watched this on particularly Dailymotion or GoGo Anime, which I don't remember. It's been a while now that I got it on DVD. I might want to rewatch this at some point, which I can remember, because there is the live action unreleased Aika episode, which is available on the DVD, of course. Subscribe for content. My anime plan, link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter, Facebook. If you have Twitter, Facebook account, and all social media, be sure to give this video a thumbs up by smacking the like button on this video. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave in the comments in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Keep it otaku for this anime review. I got another anime review next. Stay tuned for my next anime review. I got a 2-episode anime OVA that I haven't reviewed for tomorrow's anime review on Owl Crazy Kozu Basketball Club. Stay tuned for my next anime review on Owl Crazy Kozu Basketball Club, because you won't want to miss another anime review.